War Eagle Auburn family, on a very somber, not so happy night for the Auburn Tigers, specifically Auburn baseball, we are going live in our post-game reaction show to break down, sadly, a loss to the Arkansas Razorbacks in the College World Series for Auburn baseball by the score of 11-1. Obviously, this will not be a fun one to do, but I appreciate you all tuning in, whether it is live on replay, to share your thoughts, your opinions, and discuss with me a little bit about this game in particular. I know like I said, there's not a lot of exciting things to discuss, but there is still things to discuss and celebrate and, enjoy in terms of when it comes to Auburn baseball. So we will try our best to do that tonight and balance it with the reality of what has taken place on this live stream. A couple things you can do for me as you come in to the stream, whether that's live or on the replay. This is our check-in period. Make sure right now, if you can, smash that like button here on YouTube. Share it out on social media if you're watching there, on Twitter, retweets, sharing in Facebook, into Facebook groups. Invite a friend to be part of the show. It's how we grow our little family within the Auburn family. And right now in the comment section, we want to know where you're watching from: city, state, international. If you're there as well, please do let us know you're here with a War Eagle, because it is always a War Eagle. And I see several people doing it correctly. Not War Eagle anyways. War Eagle always. And as I will say this, so far we've got some nice Arkansas fans already coming to the chat. Just be aware, by and large, I've discovered this year that the YouTube Arkansas crowd is a bit rowdy, so don't be shocked if some of that starts to take place. But Wink is being nice, says congrats on the season, still with the weirdest chant or war cry that I've ever seen in college athletics. Wee Pig Suey. I know it's Woo Pig Suey, but I'm gonna. But anyway, congrats to you guys as well, and hope I probably will be rooting for Arkansas over Ole Miss in this College World Series. Tall task ahead of you guys. High Flies here says, it's not good. In fact, I just realized that my microphone's a little bit far away for you guys. That probably is a little bit better. So as you can imagine, not flying on 100% here tonight, being a little bit down in the dumps myself, because here's the reality of the situation. Auburn baseball is done, but Auburn sports is officially done for the year. I had held out hope that till next Monday we would have been held over with Auburn baseball. But now we start the long, drawn-out process of waiting to see what's going to take place with Auburn football, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, the fall sports, and anything else that we can sink our teeth into Auburn-wise in the time in between all that. Devin and Cheryl, War Eagle to you guys. War Eagle always. Yes, that is the correct thing. It annoys me so much when people say War Eagle anyways. Pate Productions, tough way to end the season, but I'm so proud of this team for making it to Omaha and having a good season, especially sweeping Alabama. You know, lots of people would say, you focus too much on Alabama. It's our rival. Of course, we're going to enjoy it. So I agree. That is another bright spot. And while they can technically say we didn't sweep you because you didn't get to play the other game, but we were in Omaha. You weren't. You weren't even in the thing. Devin had to get that out of the way. Honestly, super disappointing into the season, but wow, what a run for this team. Heck of the first season for you following Auburn baseball. Yeah, you definitely couldn't have picked a better time to do so. Connor, thank you so much for tuning in. One of our friends from Oregon State. I am sad that we were not able to represent our super regional, in terms of Auburn and Oregon State better. We did get one win out of the way, but, thank you for tuning in. SEC West is pretty good, I guess. Great season, fun to follow along. You can call yourselves Pac-12 champs, I guess. I mean, we did beat the top two teams out of the Pac-12, so there you go, right? I appreciate your candor. Or candidness, I guess, is they both go interchangeably. Yes, we are going to definitely hold those as high accomplishments this year. I would have much rather be talking about us in a College World Series championship series, but we will take what we can get at this point. So, Connor, thank you so much for tuning in this past couple of weeks. Good luck to Arkansas, Pate says. I hope one of the SEC wins. So here's one of the interesting things about this, Pate, I will say. You guys that have been here for a long time know this about me, so it's not a shock when I say this. But for those of you that may be new, I am not one of these pro SEC guys. I hate the SEC with a passion, not because of, they've done something wrong or something like that. It's just they're all my biggest rivals. I want to see them fail. And vicariously, look, yes, if the SEC succeeds in some way, Auburn succeeds, I get it. There's this in me that doesn't want to see that happen. That's just how I am. That's how I'm wired. I only have a 1 in excuse me, or actually a was it 2 in 5 chance of that not happening, because there is, well, actually, hold on, I'm trying to think through this. No, 1 in 4 chance. Texas A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and wow, I'm blanking. Oklahoma left in the series so far. So with that said, Oklahoma, I do not really want to have to root for either, because I'm not very fond of them. So I will probably be putting myself in the Texas A&M camp ultimately, but I will also root for Arkansas or Ole Miss. Let's see. Cheryl says, credit to Arkansas. What a great game. Hope they get to the top of the mountain. And yeah, is Sonny out of eligibility? Devin, I don't know the answer to that question, and I was sitting there wondering that myself at the very end of the game. I believe he is listed as a senior, and that's the thing is where Clint can't even type I said. I know you said, Clint. I know that's not how you wanted to end the inaugural week for you being in Auburn, but it happens, man. Sonny is not eligible to return, he says. I didn't think so, but see, these are the questions we have to ask now in a world where there is still some availability for some players out there with that extra COVID year, the transfer portal. We don't know these days, so we have to ask the question. It'll be, always up in the air for a little while, I think. Dusty says, War Eagle, good season, reload, and come back next year. Absolutely. We got a few, I think, recruits like in the postseason here as well. Obviously, I'm not as up to date on baseball recruiting as I am in other things, so I will just take other expert opinions with that. SEC will at least be represented in the final. I don't know who wins, just not Oklahoma. I don't know that anybody really wants Oklahoma to win. So this is definitely one of those times where I will be an SEC guy. Can come back. Oh, excuse me. See, look, Clint couldn't type. I can't read. Sonny is eligible to return. The question is, though, will he? I kind of felt like I just saw his last at bat. I don't know. I think a lot of people will point to, yeah, he can hit, but is he skilled in all these other areas of the game defensively? Is he less of a liability base running? Those things are going to be in question. Depends on where he gets drafted, right? I will assume Clint. And there you go, Clint. You got people asking you, do you think that he will? Cheryl says Texas A&M would be okay too. Not sure why I'm hating on Oklahoma so much. Oklahoma is very easy to dislike, just in general in sports. If you guys have not watched my Ever to Podcast video from this morning, just go watch it. I did some research about SEC dominance right now and what it would be like if Oklahoma and Texas were already added. It's scary. Go watch it. I wake up in cold sweat in the middle of the night now every time thinking about that. Clint says, I think Sonny does return. Personally, I don't think his draft stock is as high as people want to think. I know I kind of switched that personally there, but you get the point. Yeah, I think there's a case to be made. Here's where I kind of sit on it as an amateur thinking about this, right? I think similar situation to Walker Kessler and Sonny DeShera. A lot of hype coming in, and it got realized really quickly. Is that hype that he built throughout the season enough to propel him to where he would like to be in the MLB draft? And I don't know what his priorities are either, so that also plays into it. So we'll just have to wait and see. Clint, would you mind telling us when the MLB draft is? Because I do not know that for sure. That will be a date that we all start watching. How much did Arkansas pay the son to blind Bello? That looked brutal. Let me just say this about the whole Bello situation. I know I can say this to a blue face. Half of y'all, or most of y'all that are here watching or at least commenting, because most people wouldn't be. Never mind. I'm gonna keep it together, Kyle. The fact that people just go after these kids online and would never say these things to people's faces is just ridiculous. Acting like they can do better out there in the sun. Mike Bello did not have a great game out there. Could he have made some adjustments a little bit better? Probably. That's for him and his coaches, not for us. I'm not going to go out there and act like I can do better, even with coaching and being positioned better. Mike Bello was beat up on by the sun. Arkansas took advantage of it, whether that was intentional or just sheer luck. It did feel like there was a lot of it. I don't want it to sound like when I say that there was a lot of bad luck for Auburn, that it's not Arkansas's role in winning this game. They just beat us. But there was a lot of bad luck in this game. A lot of it. Mason Barnett, outside of that first inning, and with some bad luck there too, was doing well. And if some strikes are called, if some plays are made, we're probably talking about a situation where it's still a 4-0 game. Auburn's energy level probably gets up a little bit more. And then maybe, just maybe, we're in an outside chance to be back in this game. Because if you're sitting there in the bottom of the ninth, 0-4, that's a much better position than, what was it at the time? Let me come back here on the scorecard. Let's see. Can't even find it on here. It looks so bad. It was 9-1 going into the bottom of the ninth when things kind of got out of hand. So the MLB draft is the 17th through the 20th, 20-ish. Devin confirmed, so we'll watch eagerly for that, as well as the NBA draft, which is coming up soonish too. High Fly says, money was great for Auburn, not for me. Oh, man. Whew. Breaking the finger. Well, you win some, you lose some. Your team wins, you lose a finger. Kevin, thank you so much for the positive vibes, sirs. I am as well very proud of this team. One game does not define a season. It ends a season, but it does not define a season. My boyfriend, Cheryl says, was a starting catcher in high school. He always said it's easy to coach from states. Oh, it absolutely is. That's why they call it the, quarterback, Monday morning quarterback, talking from the water cooler. It's very easy for us to sit back, and it's very easy for people to sit back and say things around a water cooler. It's even easier for people who want to hide behind Twitter handles that probably will never be able to figure out who you exactly are and say things. It's childish. Grow up. I mean, seriously, you got me started. Don't push me any further. Good game. Very sad. I felt we were unlucky, but we also outmatched. And I don't want that to be lost in this. Auburn did have some very bad luck, made some mistakes, but Arkansas is just better than us. And when you kind of wrap all of this together, it just goes to show you that what Auburn thought it was competing against and what it actually had to compete against was reality. The entire SEC, the SEC West is just dominant talk was real. And we're seeing the evidence of it now of who is left in Omaha. Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Arkansas. All teams that were highly thought of. Texas A&M probably was on the lower end of that to start off with, but peaking at the right time. Tennessee, you're out of there. So just, know that's what Auburn competed against. And Auburn was relevant the entire year. There wasn't a moment where people just dismissed them. Maybe there's that last part of the season there, series or so. Yeah, maybe things got a little bit kind of dull because of the way they turned out. But majority of the season, 99% of it, Auburn was relevant in the most challenging, in the most talented, and probably the conference that's going to win the College World Series. Take solace in that. Ferris says a future SEC team, Oklahoma, also left. Nate LaRue is a great catcher, but Jake, I forget how you say this. Is it Want? Is that how you say it? Is the Y silent? It's fun to watch. Great teammate and a great attitude. It's sad to talk about in these instances, right? That your team is going to be beat, that your team is going to not go any further, but then you get to see some cool moments where it's Brooks Fuller who hasn't got to pitch a lot this year, and gets in there and in Omaha. Isn't that cool? That's really cool for him. Same thing for Wyatt, as Clint just corrected me. Wyatt. I can always count on you. Cam Hill got in as well, who we've seen a lot this year, not so much in postseason. And, other players as well. But tonight, they basically emptied the entire bullpen. Barnett, John Armstrong, Skipper, Isbell, Alsop, Swilling, and Fuller all get in there. And let's see, everybody except for Isbell, Swilling, and Fuller gave up an earned run tonight. So not overall, when you look back at this game for Barnett, it looks bad for him, but it really wasn't as bad as, to me, the stats sometimes make them seem. And let me handle that. They're back, as they always are. Kevin with the positive nature here. Baseball team had a great season. We will back next season. Ole Miss will be playing Texas A&M in the national championship. Maybe so, Kevin. They're sure. Ole Miss is playing like they belong there. Texas A&M, maybe. Might be Oklahoma. Either way, at this point, it's just the SEC, because we're just going to go ahead and claim Oklahoma at this point. Talk about bright spots tonight. Sonny DeShera with 2 hits. And then Bobby Barrels Pierce with the home run jack that kind of at least got us excited for half a second. So happy to see him get one more swing at it, because he is an exciting guy to watch when he's making contact with the ball. So that was a very good way for him to end his season. Sonny getting on base twice, if that's the last time that we see Sonny. Other than that, nobody else except for Kason Howell gets a hit. And, like I said last night, the difference in the game was Kason Howell and Blake Rambush getting on base. And tonight, only Kason Howell does it one time. That doesn't happen. You're not going to see, Auburn have much success, because you can see the guys that would be bringing them in, mainly Blake Rambush, bringing him in would be DeShera and Pierce, who both got hits tonight. Kevin, we were discussing that a little bit earlier. It's really up to him and where he gets drafted in the MLB draft, which is in mid to late July. So we'll just have to sit back, wait and see for that one. Obviously, there's the Auburn guy in me that hopes so. There's also the Auburn guy in me that understands that he needs to do what's best for him, and it wouldn't hurt to have yet another name that's attached to Auburn in the MLB, continuing our domination, but growth of dominance. Relevance in professional sports tonight. All right, keep your comments and questions going. I want to give you a couple of reminders, though, not just we'll talk about the links in the description a little bit. Tomorrow night, we're going live, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Do not miss it. It is going to be a live call-in show. By the way, I forgot to mention this, and I will leave this open as I deal with yet another spammer. Hello. I do not know what's going on. Apparently, we just got blasted by these guys. I have no clue what's going on. If you guys can see me, if you can hear me, let me know, because some craziness just went down. I have no clue what just happened. If you guys can see me, let me know, please. Welcome back. Thank you for that. Okay, that was weird. That was odd, and I apologize for that. It's going about as well as the Auburn offense was tonight. Good, got confirmation from multiple people. All right, well, that was unfortunate on all accounts. Anyway, what I was trying to say is we're going live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, call-in show. You can call in tomorrow if you'd like to, or just chat along like you are now. But that's open to anybody. Tonight, I did send our Booster Club members the link. I don't have the little thing up here in front of me like I normally do to remind you guys, but you have the link in the Patreon app if you would like to call in. I'll be on here for just another 5 minutes or so, roughly. So please do, take advantage of that tomorrow if you'd like to call in. We'll be talking about anything, probably a little bit more of this, baseball, everything's fair game tomorrow night. Wow, that really threw me off tonight. I wasn't expecting a spam attack and getting kicked off of YouTube for half a second there, but luckily the system that I use brings you back in pretty quickly if you get booted. All right, what else is there to say about? There's not much you can really say about this game tonight that hasn't been said and is in a positive light. It is also something that's productive of the conversation we haven't talked about. You really just kind of have to like chalk this one up to you were not the better team tonight, but very proud of how they've done and what they did to get here, because they proved that they were one of the best teams in the nation, top 6 teams, and they deserve to be in Omaha. And that is something that cannot be taken. That is something Tennessee can't say, Alabama can't say. That is something that few hundred other teams cannot say. Devin, well, almost hit the wrong thing there too. So will you be doing weekly shows still now that sports are done for the time being? Devin, as long as I am in town, we are going to do a weekly Wednesday night show, period. 8 p.m. on the dot, unless you hear differently from me. My goal with this channel, as I always say, we cover the whole of the Auburn experience, and with a extreme heavy emphasis on sports. And just because sports is not actively going on doesn't mean we can't hang out together, talk about that some, but also just have fun as the Auburn family. So Wednesday nights are your nights. So if you guys show up, we will keep doing them on Wednesday nights. That is the plan. I'm trying to catch up on some of the questions that got mixed up and all of that kind of stuff. Not a baseball question, but can you answer it? I don't see your question, but we will probably just stick to baseball stuff tonight. If you want to talk about some other related things, we will move on in just a little bit. Great question, Devin. I was actually going to pose this on Twitter tomorrow morning or on social media. So please ask it there or answer it there too when we do it tomorrow. But let's answer the question here. Your favorite moment of the season when it comes to Auburn baseball. For me, it's going to be hard to beat that experience of Auburn hosting a regional, me being there for the entire weekend, even though it was supposed to be done on Sunday. It kind of was nice to spend some extended time in Auburn and just get to enjoy the campus with really nothing else to draw your attention away from Auburn baseball. And that for me is going to be, it's a more of a encompassing memory, like it's got a lot of things wrapped up into it. But I will say that I do think that is going to be what sticks out to me. I will remember being at the Rhode Island series, which was one of the first series of the season, and how cold it was, how hot it was at the regional, and getting to meet Sonny's family once or twice, getting to meet some other players' family, just enjoying being back together. That's going to be something really good to think back on. That home run from Bobby to beat Tennessee was pretty cool to watch. Bobby was probably one of the more fun players to watch this year because he was thrust into an opportunity that arose, right? So, every athlete begs, waits, pleads for an opportunity, but very few sees that opportunity when it comes their way. Bobby Barrels did that. It was very unfortunate that we lost Josh Hall with his injury early on in SEC play. I think it was SEC play. But wow, watching Bobby Barrels get out there and do his thing, and did his thing tonight. That's been fun to watch. And I think there's a time where we look back at this season and each one of these players that we're used to seeing has their moments. Kason Howell was not known for his batting in postseason, but he sure was known for his defense a lot of the time. If he in the outfield don't make some of the plays in the super regional that they did, we're not here in the College World Series. Blake Rambush was just getting on base left and right. Didn't do it as much during postseason, but things coming. And Brody was just like the steady rock that he is. Brooks Carlson, Cole Foster, freaking behemoth of a man playing sick with IVs in him. Cam Hill had great moments. Nate LaRue was very clutch at times. Mike Bello had some pretty great moments in the outfield as well. You can keep going on and on. The great thing is that you saw players stepping up at the right times. And that's why we got to the College World Series. Devin, excuse me. Farah says, random, Arkansas baseball won the SEC regular season and tournament last year and Arkansas softball won the SEC. I knew you would bring softball into this. Won the SEC regular season tournament this season. Well, serendipitous, right? Leighton, it was still a great season, finally getting a win at the College World Series, but I hated that side of the bracket. We got on with Ole Miss and Arkansas since they were the hottest teams going. I think I don't want to sit here and say if we had a different pitcher starting the game that we would have done any better. I think there is a discussion to be had there, but that is not me saying that Mason didn't do a great job. I think when it comes down to it, Arkansas and Ole Miss were just better teams than us this year. And there's nothing wrong to say that they proved it in the regular season, right? They both beat us 1-2 or 2-1 in their record in our series we played, and they beat us here. And that's really all you kind of need to prove that they're the better team. We got one up on them, shows that we can be competitive with them, but overall, they're just the better team. Who's your favorite Auburn baseball player of all time? Great question. We'll have to dive into some of these things in other videos. I would say, well, your obvious candidates are going to be, Frank Thomas, Gabe Gross, Tim Hudson. People forget about Jimmy Hitchcock. If I'm not mistaken, Frank and I share a birthday. If his birthday is May 27th, anybody want to confirm that for me right now? That'd be great. I think it is. So that kind of gives him a little bit of a, an advantage. But I'm a big Auburn history guy, at least in my, value of it. Maybe don't know a lot. Clint knows way more than me. So, part of me wants to pick Jimmy Hitchcock just from that, who was also a football player for Auburn back in the day. I'm going to say probably Tim Hudson, for the holistic nature of his story, right? An Auburn guy, played on the team, did some great things here, enough to have his number out there on the wall and other places in the stadium. This is a guy that went to my professional team, Braves, and was pretty good there too, and was part of a great rotation at the Oakland Athletics. Getting to watch him was great. I think he won a World Series with the Giants. And then seeing him volunteer and come back to his old team, I mean, I just don't know how you don't pick that guy. Frank is arguably, statistic-wise, the best. But our relationship with him has not been as involved in his post, playing at Auburn years than a lot of other Auburn celebrities. And that seems to be changing. So it's kind of hard to just do that solely on the fact of that. Tim, for me, is probably going to always be my favorite Auburn baseball player for those reasons. Great question. Not very sad or mad, still proud. And I think that's where you should be. It's somewhere in, disappointed, but proud. Favorite baseball coach? It's kind of hard to top Hal Baird. Butch is getting up there, though. Speaking of how long do you think Tim Hudson will stay as a coach? I would love for him to be on for a long, long time. If they can pay that third coach, he might stay longer. I don't know, though. Listen, I'll be honest with you guys, and I've said this a lot. This has been my year of getting back acquainted with baseball, Auburn baseball again. Not that I've ever completely stopped following it, but you know how it is. We all have so much room in our lives, even for me as an Auburn content creator, to fill it with all of these Auburn things, and sometimes certain things will take a backseat, and that was definitely the case for baseball over the last couple seasons during the pandemic and stuff. It's been so much fun watching this and getting to acquainted with this again. Ron Rhodes says, I think this coaching staff has elevated this program position Auburn for even better things. And I would 100% agree with you there, Rhodes. 100%. I think this team, this program now finds itself on footing. A lot of times we talk about this, and we'll start wrapping up our thoughts here. I know said 10 minutes ago that we're only going to be on for 5 more minutes. And my throat's giving out. But this is why I just love being here with you guys. So we'll keep going sometimes. We talk about building a foundation that gets to a certain level. So when you fall back on it, the journey up isn't as far. So, excuse me. I told you guys my throat was going out a little bit. So if your foundation was here when Butch got here, okay? So, right here, I'm trying to get in the camera view, okay? And he raises it up. And so you spend all this time starting from this point, and you get up, and you fall right back down with what really just happened. You had one great flash in the pan success. But if your success starts rising, but your foundation starts coming with it, eventually that fall isn't as far and it's easier to get back up. And I think that's what you saw happening under Butch Thompson. Everybody knows they didn't make it last year, but look what happened in just a season. 2 out of the last 3 College World Series, Auburn is there. The foundation is there. The coaching is there. The support is there. The fandom is returning. I'm excited for what the future will hold. All right, last minute comments and questions. I want your player of the year in the comments section right now if you've got nothing else to say. So at least post that in there right now. A couple reminders for you. Again, 8 p.m. tomorrow night, live here, call-in show. You don't have to call in, but at least I enjoy those, and most of you guys seem to enjoy them because we get some cool folks calling in from time to time. Be here 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, and we'll go for about an hour. Check out the links in the description for ways that you can help support our content. One of the biggest things that you can do is by becoming a channel member here. One of those description links down there are available for you. $1 a month is all it takes to sign up, help keep the lights on here, and keep the show and the content running here at E2C Network. You get little access to these emojis and these icons that go next to your name and change. They're little tumors, corner tape, toilet paper rolls. if that's not evident there, those are available for you. Or you can join the Booster Club, $1 a month as well. They're starting, but has different tiers for different perks you can get yourself for supporting our content. Other things as well, one-time off things like PayPal. Hit the thanks button here, or you can do super chats here when we're live. All of those things help support our content and keep the lights on. But we just appreciate you being here, smashing that like button, telling a friend, and helping us grow our family within the Auburn family. Since no one is sending any more questions, want me to make a Discord server for you? So, Highfly, someone else asked me this earlier, and I think I don't know if it was you. Maybe it was you. I actually don't know exactly what all this Discord server is. I know a lot of people do them. I will tell you that summer is a lot of the time where I spend once sports are done, and it is now as of tonight. I spend kind of learning, redoing some things. We're about to send out a survey that we hope you guys will participate in to help us learn what you do and don't like about all the stuff that we do. So I say all that to say this, that I will look into Discord and get back with you. But if you're going to be making something that, if it's like a fan thing that you just run, I mean, it's cool. I can't stop you from doing it. But if it's something that you want us to be officially associated with, I need to understand what I'm doing first. But I'm flattered that you would even consider us for that. Got to be Sonny D. He was just the lifeblood of the team. I think, yes, Leighton, that is correct. It's the obvious answer. It's probably the right answer, but it's hard for me to look at Brody Moore and not see all the little things that man did and not think of him as the guy this year. Just my opinion. Favorite player is Sonny. Good. And I think that's probably going to be the common theme tonight. But guys, ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for staying up a little bit later with me tonight. It has been fun these last 2 to 3 weeks of doing post-game shows with you, some from Auburn, some here in E2C Network Studio Central, and just enjoying being with each other. We have got a lot of stuff to look forward to coming up in the fall, and we're going to be covering a lot of that in detail as we get closer to that. So stay tuned here on the channel. Be subscribed here if you're on YouTube with the notification bell notifications set to all so you don't miss anything. Updates, videos, live streams. If you're on social media, follow us there too so you don't miss anything there. Listen, most of our content you can consume out of all of those things, but there are some exclusive things that we do on each of those formats, whether it be podcast, social media, or here on YouTube. Got to be following it all as best you can to get the full E2C Network experience. And we appreciate you guys being here, at least for one of them, and hanging out with us. Thank you guys. Proud of this team. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about them in the future. And like I said, just extremely overwhelmingly proud of what they did in the College World Series. Until we talk to you guys again,